Do you have an older F-250 Super Duty XL baseline model that didn't come with many features and wish you had cruise control on it? I am going to show you today how easy it is to make that upgrade to one of those trucks. Various different years, like this 2013 I have here. Didn't take me long at all, and it's actually a factory option. Let's get started. I'm going to walk you through the steps. My name is Fred, and this is Make This Your Project. Upgrading this truck to having cruise control was so inexpensive and easy, I could just kick myself for not doing it 4 years ago when I picked this truck up. It had 23,000 miles on it. I bought it to use as a plow truck with an 8-foot bed so I could haul dirt and building materials, full sheets of drywall, things like that, instead of the F-150 that I had when I was still working. I retired. I thought this would be the perfect truck. It didn't have a lot of features, but I got a really solid buy on it. I just had this really basic control on here that barely did anything. And I've thought different times, well, I put aftermarket cruise controls on other vehicles years and years ago. I even bought some from Sears when they still sold stuff like that in their automotive outlets. I thought, well, maybe I'll have to find something like that for this truck. I got investigating and I found out that even these baseline XL F-250s have the cruise control capability built in. It's just not turned on and the switch is not there. What you have is this really basic switch, and what I got to replace it with is this full-featured switch with the cruise control built into it. And I bought that on Amazon. I got this one for $25 and change, and they range anywhere from that on up into the middle $30 range. I went ahead and I bought it and I put it in. Let's walk through the steps that I did to make that happen. First thing I had to do was pop the old switch out, and that was pretty easy to do. I just got a small thin blade screwdriver, got in behind it, and you work the clips loose and out it comes. And there is just a little connector in here. Push the tab, pull the switch off. Take the new switch, slide it onto the connector, lock it in place, clip the new switch in, and there it is. Next step is I have to program the truck to recognize that there's a cruise control switch mounted in the steering wheel. I have to enable the cruise control. So I'm going to do that next using my FORScan software. Now here comes the catch. If you don't have programming software for your vehicle, I use the FORScan software, which is probably the standard for doing diagnostic and program change work on a Ford-based vehicle. Works on Fords and Lincolns both, and I guess even on some Mazdas. You're going to have to go to a dealer and get these programming changes made. I have no idea what that would cost to have done or what the requirements would be for them to take that on. But I did this myself with the FORScan, and it was a very quick process. I use FORScan all the time to check diagnostic codes, to see what errors I have, and to make minor programming changes. Here's another little hint. I've had other Ford vehicles in the past, a little bit lower trim line, and they'll have some features on it like folding mirrors. The mirrors will fold back when you lock the vehicle, and it's only available in higher end models, but it's on the vehicle. I've gone in with FORScan and enabled that, and suddenly I've got that added feature of the mirrors folding back when I lock the doors. If you're interested in that sort of thing, you might want to investigate it if you're comfortable working with your vehicle. Another caution, if you do that, really be careful, because if you change the wrong thing, you can really goof things up. You want to make sure you are on the very specific thing you want to change, and you're sure you want to make that change before you execute it. And like the change I'm going to make on here to enable that cruise control. So let's go ahead and pull it up on FORScan and make the changes. I'm not going to go into all the steps in detail here using the FORScan software. I do have it connected to the truck with a cable to an ODB Link EX connector plugged into the USB-C port. I'm using a Microsoft Surface Pro. And by the way, this is a Microsoft Surface Pro 11 with an ARD processor. And to run FORScan on a computer with an ARD processor instead of an Intel processor, you have to download some software and make some modifications to the USB-C port control and to the drivers that talk to this link connector down here. And if I have enough requests, if you make comments wanting to know how to do that, I can do a separate video on how to make those configuration changes on this computer to make it work. Otherwise, if you have an Intel-based computer, you can install the FORScan software, and it's pretty easy to get it running. Got it running here. I'm in the steering control module. I have brought up the cruise control switch. It is enabled. I had done that previously. I'm not going to redo that, but that is the setting for it. I'm going to back up here now and go to the list. I had to go into the body control module settings, start the change procedure running, it's reading the blocks, and then I had to go to the cruise control itself. Right here I have cruise control. I'm going to go into the settings for that by double clicking, and it's giving me different options here. Without cruise control is the default. With cruise control or variations of cruise control with the adaptive cruise control, which this vehicle will not support, doesn't have the sensors required to do that. So I changed that to say it had cruise control on it. Get out of that. I'm going to stop the service procedure. What I had to do in each case in there was save those changes. I'm not saving anything today because those changes have already been made when I tested this. Going to close out the program and disconnect the connector. And we're going to take this thing for a test drive and show you that I am now able to use cruise control on this old 2013 F250 Super Duty. Let's go for a ride. We're going to pull onto the county highway where we can get this thing up to highway speed and give it a test. I'm on a nice straight stretch. I am going to turn the cruise control on. The little clock lit up on the dashboard. I'm going to get this thing up to highway speed. "55 miles an hour, I press set and it turns green and I have cruise control. I am traveling at 55 miles an hour with my foot off the gas. Now, when you want to disengage, of course, you step on the brake, it turns orange. I'm slowing down. I want to resume again, I push the resume button. Takes me back up to 55 miles an hour. It works flawlessly. This thing works just like it's supposed to. I am really impressed with it. And to think all this time, these features were on this truck, they just weren't engaged and I didn't have the little buttons to do it with. There you have it, that's all there is to it. Didn't take much time, didn't cost much money. And I have cruise control on this truck and I really enjoy it. I don't drive it a lot on long trips, but when I do have to go any distance, it sure is nice to be able to flip on that cruise. If you enjoyed this video, well then please click like, consider subscribing so you can see more of my how-to videos in the future. Thanks for watching, enjoy your projects, and take care.